So I know most of our class mainly gets stressed out about exams and quizzes, but for me and the three other architecture students in class, we mainly get stressed out about project deadlines. And according to Prep Scholar, they say that architecture is the hardest major. And this is based on the factor that on average we spend about 22 hours a week preparing for class. And this includes things such as drawing, designing, editing, and critiquing. So, as stated in Britannica, architecture is the art and technique of designing and building, as distinguished from the skills associated with construction. So, it is a combination of expressive and practical techniques. And in this speech, I'm going to inform you of the different learning experiences I've encountered this year and the process I go through for each building design. So first, to start off with the learning techniques that I've encountered, first is multiple field trips. We went to the Toledo Art Museum, a salvaging warehouse in Detroit, and site visits to, for example, Ann Arbor. So this added depth to my projects and just made school fun. And another thing we do is go to the wood shop. So I learned a lot about different saws and woodworking tools that I probably wouldn't get the chance to in any other major. And this led me to make a human scale model of my design. So really, it taught me so much new stuff. And another thing I've been learning is computer programs. So one of them is called Rhino, and it lets me 3D model my designs just on a computer. So I don't need a lot of tools. I can just do it right with what I have. And then another few editing softwares I've learned are InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator. So those just let me visualize my ideas. So I feel like these three things are really unique to architecture, and that's what makes me like it. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about is just the process I go through every day or every month of like the design process. So first is inspiration. This can include artists you like, thinking about the function of the space you're designing. For example, this right here is a hotel, so thinking about that, thinking about materials you want to use, a bunch of different things. So, for example, in our final project right now, it's set in a park in Ann Arbor. So I found the ecology really interesting, and it's a really big spot for butterfly and bird watching, and there's a lot of really interesting native plant species. So I wanted to incorporate that into my design. So I did that with courtyard habitats inside the building. So that shows how you take inspiration and put it into design. So this is the hardest phase, it's the most personal phase, but it also is the most important because it makes your work unique and it gives it its like spunk. So the second step in the process, I guess, is designing and drawing. So that's like doing floor plans, sections, elevations, perspectives. Those are just types of drawings to get your ideas out on paper, and also doing models, like I said, either on the computer or physically. So this is just taking your ideas from your head and really getting it out there for you and for your instructor. And then another aspect of our school is critiques. It's like such a big aspect. So this is present throughout the whole process. It's not like 1, 2, 3. And it just makes your ideas stronger, getting a new perspective on it from someone that, has never seen it before. And it gets really frustrating because sometimes you spend hours on end on something and it just gets ripped apart. So, but you just have to remember that it is constructive criticism and it helps you become a better designer in the end. And that's really helped me learn to take constructive criticism. And then the last thing is just editing, and making tweaks to your work. So sometimes it feels ridiculous to be making such little edits, but it really makes people understand your vision so that when people come in to see your work at the final stage where it is, they understand what you're thinking and they understand why you did what you did. So that's pretty much the end goal, to sell your creativity to other people. And then I just wanted to show you a few examples of some edits I've done. So this is something I did in a computer program, and I used Photoshop to edit in some other stuff, just like bedroom perspective. And then this is an edit of the first picture, one of the suites. So I added people in, the materials, you can see the canyon background, add people, add life to it. So I learned through that to add it to my own drawings. And then this is one of my final project right now of, like I was saying, those butterflies, those courtyards in the building. So I hope all this gives you a sneak peek into what architecture really is and what studying it is really like. So although it's super time consuming, it is really rewarding. And according to ArchDaily, which is a source for all things architecture, it says that architects are encouraged to have a style which can manifest beyond your work. So I agree with that because I feel like school and what I make is a reflection of myself. It's a reflection of what's important to me and what I'd like space to feel like. So I feel like along with construction principles and structural principles, I also am learning about myself, which I think is really important. So these new learning experiences and the whole design process have taught me so much this year, and I hope I helped you understand what architecture majors really do, because I feel like it's a mystery to most people. So yeah.